Today is Wednesday, September 30th, 2015, and today's rant will be on the Middle East. Is it about ready to explode again? The first thing I wanted to bring up is that there are going to be coalition forces sent to help out the Afghan army in a northern province in Afghanistan. I believe it's called Kunduz, K-U-N-D-U-Z, Kunduz. And apparently there was, it sounded like a pretty big town, thousands of people in it, 500 Taliban fighters went in it, and everyone cut and ran. They took over the town, and it's not good. So after being in there 15 years, things are very, very shaky in Afghanistan. Now, I'm not going to blame, the only thing I'm going to say is I'm not going to blame Obama, I'm going to blame Bush, because he never should have left, he never should have given half-ass effort into Afghanistan when he went into Iraq. So by the time that the United States had been there when Obama came in, we'd already been in Afghanistan 7 or 8 years, much longer than we had been in a lot of other areas, and fought in a lot of other wars. I don't know all of the details, but are we going to have to be there for another 50 years? Are we going to have to provide troops, moral support, military expertise, training exercises for the next 50 years? It sort of sounds like it, because apparently it was run over by only about 500 Taliban fighters. Just another clear indication that things can change very, very rapidly in the Middle East. The next thing that's important is that we have known for the last month or so that Russia has been supplying Syria tanks, planes, men, arms, munitions, etc. And that Russia and Syria have a very close relationship. Is Russia trying to get involved right now to help Syria out? And the answer to that appears to be yes. Now, the Russian parliament yesterday voted to allow this type of activity to go on there, and Putin and the parliament basically have indicated that it is there to support the Syrian government and help them get rid of ISIL Daesh. Now, here's where the problem comes in. Russia's indicated they're not going to be doing any ground troops. They're just going to be doing air support. And of course, guess who's been doing air support in Syria about for the last year, bombing the shit out of it, and that's the United States. So the chances of coalition, because we know that also France was bombing in Syria just recently. Was France bombing in there to give an indication to Russia maybe to stay out, that we're going to handle this ourselves? I don't know. That might have been inspirational to Putin. But what are the chances that there will be some type of accident, engagement, shoot down of a Russian plane, an American plane, a French plane, somewhere in Syria? And of course, at the same time, we're in this right now in the Syrian aspect. The civil war in Syria has been going on for 4.5 years. There does not appear to be an end in sight as of right now. How many refugees? Approximately 10 million? I'm not really sure exactly, but millions of refugees have left. There is nothing for them to come back to. And we meaning the United States and anyone who's working with us in terms of getting rid of al-Assad, and also at the same time getting rid of ISIL. So trying to get rid of ISIL is actually helping Assad. There is no one or no group available really to help take over Syria if we do depose Assad. So it's a very terrible situation all the way around. And remember that ISIL, Daesh got its start technically in Syria because it was able to metastasize for people, a lot of Baathists who became al-Qaeda, who then got out of Iraq and went into Syria, the no man's lands that were created by the Syrian civil war allowed all of that to happen. It's just a cluster FU. You know, it's just huge. And again, just a couple other quick things. You know, we have the Kurds who want to be armed in Syria, and of course they're supposed to be armed in Iraq from the Iraqi government, but that's really not happening. And they would like to have arms from us. Turkey doesn't want the Syrian Kurds to have any arms. I'm sure that the government of Iraq doesn't want the Iraqi Kurds to have any arms. And remember, there are also Kurds in Turkey and in Iran, and they would think of nothing more than to have some type of homeland for themselves. So there's a lot of things going on in that regard. And of course, all of this is going to affect the 2016 election. There's all kinds of refugees. How many refugees are we going to take? Can we take them humanitarily? How can we work with them, educate them? And of course, all of the Republicans are going to say, why are we taking them in and not helping our own people, while at the same time their policies aren't helping our own people? Yeah, figure that one out. So yesterday was a big thing because we are going to get we're not going to have a shutdown. That's going to come in December. That's going to be a big thing. This could really be a big thing, especially if a Russian plane is shot down, or a American plane is shot down by a Russian or a French plane. And remember, Russia is engaged in the Ukraine, and the European Union wants them to be out of there. They would prefer them to be out of the Crimea. Don't think that'll happen. So there's many touchy areas, what do they call them, powder kegs, that could explode at any minute. And by Russia getting involved in the Mideast, what was already a very, very difficult, in some instances, unwinnable in the short term prospects in the Middle East, just may have gotten a heck of a lot worse.